Putin an anti-imperialist? No, he's not an anti-imperialist. He can be anti-NATO. He can be anti the United States. Otherwise, I think you end up arguing that the Kaiser was an anti-imperialist because he opposed the dominant imperialism in his day, Anglo-French imperialism. That he certainly did. Did that make him an anti-imperialist? No. Does that mean I think that Russia today is an imperialist power? No, I don't. But merely not being imperialist doesn't make you an anti-imperialist. Russia wants to become an imperialist state. It's not aiming to overthrow imperialist domination. It's aiming to overthrow NATO/US imperialist domination so it can emerge as the dominant power on the planet. Well, I actually think it's much more likely to be China. What the hell is China? I think you can make a stronger case for China to be an imperialist power, although it's an incredibly complex. What is the nature of the Chinese state? What's the nature of the Chinese economy? Anyone who tells me here's a label, no, you need to analyze it. All I'd say, though, is that China's not an anti-imperialist power. It wants to replace US domination. So when it, for example, wants to do a deal with Iran, as it wants to do, it's not stopped by the US and the dollar, which it is today. So the United States remains dominant. And of course, Russia and many other countries want to get rid of that domination. But it's not that they want to replace it with what? They want to replace it with their domination. They want to replace US imperialism with some combination of China or whatever. So I wouldn't call that myself anti-imperialism. Russia having a more advanced arms economy, I personally, not an expert, but I've done enough reading to just say that's a risible idea. The United States, technically, economically, is by far the leading power in the world today. Russia is very, very much a second-rate power. You could argue, I think, very convincingly, that it's a third-rate power. It just happens to be big, and it's got nuclear weapons. But technologically, Russia is a nothing. Economically, it's a nothing. So if communists want to believe that it's so advanced technologically when it comes to arms, all I would say is we've had it tested out for a couple of years now against the Ukrainian army, which is, again, nothing to write home about. And how well has Russia done? I mean, again here, again there, retreated from the gates of Kiev. I'm sorry, I'm not impressed. If that's an example of a all-conquering army, it hasn't done very well, has it? Anyway, that's just my own assessment. So I certainly don't think we should support Russia. I see absolutely no reason why we should support Russia. Some of the left, I'm not just the right of social democracy, some of the left, people like Parvus in Germany, but also other comrades on the left historically in Germany, did support Kaiser Germany, the Central Powers. They thought Germany was a more progressive capitalism. And if you get rid of old Britain and old France, capitalism would grow and the means of production would grow and the working class with the dialectic would become stronger. I think that this is hocus pocus Marxism. It isn't real Marxism. It's mechanical Marxism. Either way, no, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't support Russia. We should do what we're doing. And that is oppose our own ruling class. And that's what I hope comrades in Russia do. They should oppose Putin. They should say that this is an unjust war, but it's an unjust war on both sides. That would be my argument.